One Zambia, One Nation. Thank you so much for joining us on this bulletin of Zanis News. To present it, I'm Michelle Oluwinda. The headlines. Yota Muleya Combined School in Infrastructure Boost. National Heart Hospital performs 60 surgeries. Government to promote health workers with upgraded qualifications. The news in detail. Construction works of a 1x3 classroom block at Yota Muleya Combined School in Matero constituency of Lusaka district using the 2023 Constituency Development Fund CDF has started. Michelo Mwemba reports that the school has 1,700 learners against 12 classrooms. More in the following report.
The construction of an additional 1x3 classroom block at Yota Muleya Combined School in Matero constituency in Lusaka district will greatly improve the learning environment of 1,700 pupils who have to manage 12 classrooms. The school, which runs from grade 1 to 12, is having a 1x3 classroom block constructed using the 2023 Constituency Development Fund worth 1.2 million kwacha.
I'm happy to see that now this government is also has put as a priority that education, everyone should be able to access education. Now here we have free education, and education here, I think when pupils come to enroll by a head teacher, people are not asked which party do you belong to for your child to enroll. That's not a requirement. So Ali wants to enroll your children into school. The school at which we are today or this afternoon doesn't only need 1x3 classroom block, Honorable Member of Parliament and the guest of honor. As we are aware that population in Zambia is growing at a faster rate. According to our statistics in the planning department at Deb's office, Muleya Combined School needs 10 more classroom blocks.
A project like this does not only benefit Yota Muleya, but also other surrounding schools and communities, such as community schools and private schools.
Lusaka District Administrative Officer graced the groundbreaking ceremony on behalf of Lusaka District Commissioner Rosa Zulu.
If you go around, check what is there in classrooms. Some classes as big as 100 pupils under one roof, managed by one teacher. Nothing negative about that. What it means is our children have come back to school because education is now free. So now what is remaining is to make sure that the learning environment for these kids who have come back to school in numbers is improved.
Matero Constituency Development Fund Committee Chairperson is appealing for quality works on the project.
So the contractor, please take note, together with our engineer from the council, Skazwe, that ensure that the building we are giving to Muleya is of standard quality.
Michelle Mwemba reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
We move to Luapula Province, where Kennedy Chomba reports that Luapula Province Permanent Secretary Might Mumba has cautioned health training institutions in the province against over-enrolling of students. The Permanent Secretary is of the view that over-enrollment has potential to affect the quality of healthcare professionals. More in the following report.
Luapula Province Permanent Secretary Might Mumba has urged health training institutions in the province not to compromise on quality education through over-enrollment. Speaking during the 7th Combined Graduation Ceremony for Nurses and Midwives at Master School of Nursing, the Permanent Secretary warned that government will not allow health training institutions to graduate substandard graduates.
I wish to remind all training institutions that offer health-related training programs not to overlook training standards. Therefore, I wish to direct heads of all training institutions to strictly follow the prescribed standards and put to an end over-enrollment of students. Ladies and gentlemen, I am aware of the challenges that our training institutions are experiencing, which include inadequate infrastructure, inadequate equipment, inadequate transport, and low staffing levels. The Ministry of Health is looking at these issues, and I should be quick to mention that even colleges have a responsibility to plan and implement that which they can manage, taking into consideration available resources.
Nursing and Midwifery Council of Zambia, measures have been put in place to ensure that there is high professionalism among its members.
Improving the professional conduct of nurses and midwives. The Council has revised the Code of Ethics for nurses and midwives to make it current, relevant, and responsive to the emerging trends, as well as aligning it to the Nurses and Midwives Act number 10 of 2019. Once the statutory instrument is signed, the Council will embark on sensitization of all nurses and midwives and religiously implement the Code of Ethics, and all the practitioners who will be found wanting under this ethics will have themselves to blame.
Meanwhile, Wapro Province Health Director Dr. Simon Kunda says nursing schools in the province continue to face a number of challenges.
Our nurse educators are faced with a number of challenges, guest of honor, in the execution of duties. We'll just give a few examples of some of the challenges which they are facing in their daily execution of duties. A good number of them, guests of honor, they are not substantively appointed, but they are working on administrative convenience. This in itself is very demotivating to them.
The graduation ceremony has seen over 500 students, who include nurses, midwives, and theatre nurses, graduate. Kenneth Chomba reporting for Zanis News in Mansa District.
The National Heart Hospital, the only heart hospital in Zambia, has so far performed 60 surgeries with 95% success since it was opened in September 2021. The facility cares for both children and adult cardiac patients within Zambia and the region. More in the following report by Clara Kawimbe.
The National Heart Hospital is a specialized cardiac care for Zambia and the region and is owned by the Zambian government through the Ministry of Health. The hospital, which was opened in September 2021, has performed about 60 surgeries with 95% success. But many Zambians are not aware about this state-of-the-art hospital and that it caters for both children and adult cardiac patients.
So under pediatrics, there's pediatric cardiology, that is just the medical side, and also surgical side. So these are probably children who are born with congenital heart defects, where they're just born with a condition, and they will be intervened so that they are given a better life.
Sibeso is the radiographer at the hospital and explains more.
We also provide services like pacemaker implant. They are mostly the patients they have rhythm problems, because the heart will do the function as well as the structure, but we also have this rhythm aspect of the heart, which when it's impaired, they would need to put a pacemaker. So basically those are the procedures that we do.
One of the beneficiaries is Holly Mwanza.
And it being a specialized hospital, I think people used to have challenges and they have heart problems. It meant that one had to be taken out of the country. So a good number of the citizens were having problems, maybe don't have much money to take yourself out of the country.
Clara Kawimbe reporting for Zanis in Chongwe.
Still in health news, the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, through its JSI Discover Health project, has handed over 2 Toyota Land Cruiser vehicles to the Ministry of Health in Mchinga Province. Mchinga Province Permanent Secretary Henry Mkungule, who received the vehicles on behalf of the Ministry of Health, said they will cushion the transport challenges in the health sector. Details by Pamela Inambao.
These are the vehicles that have been handed over to the Ministry of Health in Mchinga Province by USAID through JSI Discover Health project, who have been implementing health services project from 2016 to 2021 in the province. Handing over the vehicles, USAID Senior Technical Advisor Kenny Kapembwa said the donation of the vehicles represent the ongoing partnership between the American people and the Zambian government.
The 2 vehicles we are bringing in, we are hoping that they will continue contribute towards lightening the burden in the province. USAID Zambia is handing over the 2 vehicles in recognition of the strong partnership that we have with PHO.
And Muchinga Province Permanent Secretary Henry Mukungule said the 2 vehicles will help cushion the transport challenges faced by the health sector in the province.
And I wish to say that this donation to Muchinga Province Health Office is not a mean donation. I know that it will go a long way to help resolve the transport situation at the province. I want to urge the recipients, those that are going to receive these vehicles, that please let us make sure that we maintain these vehicles properly.
The vehicles have since been allocated to Chinsali General Hospital and Kanchibia District Hospital.
We have had some challenges in terms of transport, and this is supplementing to the government efforts to ensure all the facilities that we are building, the new facilities that are coming up for the CDF projects, they are able to have mobility.
And being the second level hospital in the province, we really need mobility in order for us to ensure that quality of service delivery is enhanced.
Extending our gratitude to JSI, Discover Health, for this wonderful gesture that has been extended to Kanchivia. We are not in any way special than any other district within the province.
Pamela Inamba reporting for Zanis in Chinsali, Muchinga Province.
In business news, Minister of Small and Medium Enterprise Development Elias Mubanga says government is committed to supporting small and medium enterprises as they are important economic drivers of the country. Mary Chola reports that Mr. Mubanga was speaking during a business meeting with the Ndola Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Here is a report.
Government has assured the business community on the Copperbelt province of its commitment to provide capacity to improve the business landscape in the country. This is to uplift the Copperbelt province, which was once the #1 industrial area of the country, but that changed over time. However, through continuous engagement with stakeholders and financial support, government is working closely with the business community to revamp the industries.
Our support is more towards financing the SMEs and the provision of non-financial services such as capacity building and market linkages.
Copperbelt Province Permanent Secretary Augustine Kasongo wants more sensitization to the public on the availability of empowerment funds.
I think we did talk about the importance of these cooperatives that have been formed, how they can access funds, and what was available, and those are the issues that people are interested to know. Yeah, because you see quite a number of people in Dola, they are in business, but the main challenge they have is capital. Now, most of them, they're hoping that they're going to get finances from a CDF, but I think what CDF is able to offer is different from what your ministry is offering, and that's why a lot of our small businessmen want to get finances. I discussed with the DG that I think you can do better than this by just going on the media, so have programs in vernacular so that our people may know what you're offering.
Ndola Chamber of Commerce and Industry has called for policy adjustment to provide a conducive environment for the business community.
Both the business environment, the regulatory environment that governs the cost of doing business, and specific factors such as entrepreneurship skills, access to credit and markets, these tend to affect the life cycle and growth profiles of the SME in our country. And through your ministry, sir, Zambia is expected to have a business climate that encourages local investment, competition, diversification, and growth for job creation.
Mary Chola for Zanis in Ndola.
In Northwestern Province, Provincial Permanent Secretary Gladson Katambi has called on the people in the region to condemn any acts of violence against women. The Permanent Secretary said this in a speech read on his behalf by Solwezi Acting District Commissioner Anton Fulwe at the launch of the campaign against GBV in the province. Details in the following report.
She is one of the gender-based violence GBV survivor, sharing her experience during the launch of End Gender-Based Violence officiated by Northwestern Province Acting Permanent Secretary Anton Fulwe.
All of us should condemn gender-based violence because a man and a woman were created equally in the image of God. And therefore, where people do not respect gender, there will never be development.
Young Women's Christian Association YWCA Councillor Doris Katiamba read the speech on behalf of the non-governmental Gender Organizations Coordinating Council NGOCC Board Chairperson Grace Sinkamba.
We would like to invite our traditional leaders to form village committees specifically to raise awareness against gender-based violence in our community here in Solwezi. On behalf of the women of Zambia, may I appeal to the government to enforce stiffer punishment, especially against perpetrators of these heavier sexual crimes against young girls.
Gender-based violence GBV survivor Namakaus Tumbeko gave her testimony.
Abalume bandi bangupire bena tabakwete HIV. So nalichulire munganda mumwandi ukunguma even cheating. Shakwete point yakwe bat na tontonka yakwe bat kuti nafuba munganda mlandu wakwe bat abalume bandi balenje bokwe bati ngawalila fye wapange chongo muno munganda. I will tell all the neighbors that you are HIV positive.
For Zanis, in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province, I am Hemit Hachilonde.
We move to the Copperbelt Province, where Provincial Minister Elisha Matambo has commended Save the Children International Zambia for its continued support in improving the lives of people in rural communities, especially on the Copperbelt Province. Agrippa Silumbwe has more in the following report.
They are performing traditional dances as a way of bidding farewell to Save the Children International Zambia, the organization which has been working in Fanyama for over 10 years to improve their lives in areas like health and education.
We continue to proudly, with children, advocate and support Zambia's policies, such as the free education policy and a very important and significant piece of legislation for children. As we bid farewell, Lufanyama has become a beacon of inspiration for other rural areas, in particular that Save the Children has been working with. And as has been mentioned already, as we celebrate our 40 years in Zambia this year, Lufanyama has been a very significant part of that.
Government and traditional leaders thanked the organization for helping many vulnerable communities.
It is gratifying, therefore, to note that Save the Children provided running water and mass hand washing stations at 27 schools, as well as construction of 43 sex-segregated toilets at 20 schools. Government values working with cooperating partners in order to achieve government goals.
On behalf of my fellow chiefs in Lufanyama district, I'm wishing them well as they move to another area. I urge all departments in health, education, and community development programs which the Save the Children are living in our care.
School-going children were the main beneficiaries of Save the Children programs and are also here to deliver words of appreciation.
It was really a great time with you, Save the Children, as you helped us here in many ways. We wish you well as you continue serving the children where you are going. Thank you.
Reporting, I'm Agrippa Silumbwe, Copperbelt Province.
Meanwhile, Copperbelt Permanent Secretary Augustine Kasongo has urged local authorities to engage citizens on planning and implementation of development activities in communities. Mr. Kasongo was speaking during the commemoration of the African Decentralization and Local Government Week. Details in the following report by Mary Chola.
Dola City Council has commemorated the African Decentralization and Local Government Week to highlight its mandate of delivering services to the community. Dola City Council Mayor highlighted the services offered to the members of the public.
For us as in Dola City Council, the theme is a challenge to weigh how best we have served our people, and how best we have engaged in trade, and how best we have provided the enabling environment for local trade. Our mandate is to provide land, to provide documents, to provide business levies, to provide health permits, to provide fire certification, and many more to our local business communities. The free trade area offers the opportunity to transform what is being produced and to launch the industrialization process for the creation of value addition in the continent.
Gracing the event, Copperbelt Province Permanent Secretary Augustine Kasongo encouraged the local authority to engage local people in service delivery.
The Local Government Week that started on August 3rd, 2023 last week, and then today, highlights the critical and far-reaching role of councils in service delivery. It has also been an occasion to emphasize the importance of citizen participation in local development. I wish to urge local authorities to facilitate engagement with and among citizens on local development planning and the implementation of development initiatives. These engagements should not be restricted to the Local Government Week only. Constant engagement will equip citizens with the necessary information to offer checks and balances in the local development process.
The last day of the commemoration has been marked by an exhibition from local authority departments and other government line ministries. For Zanis,
Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo says the ministry will use the recruitment of 3,000 health workers and promote those that are already in the system who have upgraded their qualifications. Ms. Masebo has noted that a number of health workers have upgraded their qualifications and are due for promotions. She adds that from the slots that will remain, prospective health workers will be recruited to fill up the vacancies that will be created. Ms. Masebo stated that the number of employing 3,000 new health workers still remains the same, except that the ministry wants to start by promoting the ones who are already in the system. The minister said this during the launch of the 2023 National HIV Counseling, Testing and Treatment Day in Lusaka. Meanwhile, Mwinilunga Town Council Chairperson Jonathan Chinyimba has directed all devolved government departments under the decentralization program in the district to immediately report to the local authority. Mr. Chinyimba says the devolution of some government functions to the local authority is a constitutional matter which no one should hesitate to implement. More in the following report.
Mwinilunga Town Council has joined other councils in the country in observing the African Day of Decentralization and Local Government Week, a public interaction, health walk, donation to charity, and a cleaning exercise includes activities done to mark the week. Town Council Chairperson Jonathan Chinyimba graced the commemorations.
The devolved government departments have the responsibility to be reporting to the standing committees of the local authority. This is constitutional and no one can run away from that. So I'm encouraging all the heads of government department to be reporting to the appropriate committees of the local authority.
District Commissioner Harrison Kaman says government is resolved to deliver full decentralization.
After scoring the debt restructuring, the president is repeatedly saying, let us Zambians change. Let us make a U-turn from lazing around to being industrious and hardworking.
The African Day for Decentralization is aimed at showcasing the services that the community should target when they come to seek for services through the councils.
Devolved functions are on hand to explain services offered by their respective departments.
This is now becoming a reality under the new Dawn government because of the component under CDF, which is now sponsoring children after grade 12 to go and do skills.
The formal sector, we're automatically registered upon employment, but the misconception that is there is that our beneficiaries are also registered. but in actual sense, you actually have to visit the NIMA-accredited health facilities to get your beneficiaries registered.
This year's African Day for Decentralization and Local Government has been observed with a special focus on how sub-national structures can boost the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Reporting for Zanis, Obedilishin in Imwilunga District, Northwestern Province.
And in education news, a civil society organization with an interest in the education sector has expressed concern at the alleged abuse of school grants. And last month, Minister of Education Douglas Yakalima lamented that grants which government is disbursing to schools have continued to be abused. Moreta Zambia Executive Director Samuel Mbumba says abuse of the grants is a danger to the education sector. Mr. Mbumba told a media briefing in Lusaka today that perpetrators should desist from abusing funds meant to assist vulnerable children. Meanwhile, the executive director has called for the merging of teacher unions, saying the multiplicity of the labor movement in the education sector is negatively affecting negotiations of conditions of service. Dr. Bomba said the law that allows multiplicity of unions needs to be amended.
While we appreciate the works of the new Dawn government by introducing free education from grade 1 to grade 12, and while the government is busy planning on how to sustain this gesture, the free education grant has received serious attention in both the media and the public of late. Barely a day passes without hearing of some schools abusing these funds, which are meant to develop the education sector. Us as Moreta Zambia, whose among other objectives is to promote quality education, would like to put it on record that may the law enforcers come in quickly to curb this barbaric behavior, which is being championed by selfish individuals in these schools, district education board offices, and provincial education offices. Let the school grants alone. Let the grants benefit our learners in schools. Zambia is preparing itself to attain Vision 2030, and at the same time shifting from the low-income to middle-income country. And such developmental policies as the free education policy should not be negatively tempered with, because they are meant to produce responsible and productive citizens out of our school-going children.
As we end the news, a recap of stories that made headlines. Yota Muleya Combined School in Infrastructure Boost. National Heart Hospital performs 60 surgeries. Government to promote health workers with upgraded qualifications. That's all we could package on this bulletin. On behalf of the entire production team, this has been Michelle Luvinda. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, it's bye-bye and God bless.